Hey everybody, welcome to JTV Extra. I'm Sandra Younger. We are going to be making this effortless barrel knot bracelet today, and we are going to be using my favorite tool of all time, which is the Knotty-Do-It-All, which is a tool that I invented. And if you don't have one, you are missing out because there are so many things you could do with this tool. It's just like unbelievable. But we will get to that in just a second. If you're new here, welcome. You can ask questions and leave comments down below. I really try to like look at the questions and answer them. But if I miss something, just email me and I will be more than glad to answer you. Just want you to know that we are not having a customer show today because I'm gonna hope to do like a double feature because I want to also add in a pair of like cool earrings that'll match your bracelet. And in some of the and when I do the products, there is the carnelian isn't in my lineup, but it is available for purchase. You'll see what I mean in just a second. Anyway, I'll tell you what today's products are, and then we'll get straight to the lesson. So here are the products on today's show. All right, so here's what we have today, and you know that we always have our fantastic cord knotting and design tool, the Knotty-Do-It-All. And if you don't have one, you're missing out. Because this tool, I mean, there are so many things you can make. And I think what's so cool about it is, you know, see the hardware, you get your hardware. This is this the big one? Yeah. So, and plus the small one comes with its hardware kit as well. Where did I put it? So you just get like a different, slightly different configuration. But I teach so many different techniques. I have so many lessons on my website. And you know, under JTV, I have over 70 lessons there. And under Knotty Lessons, I've got, you know, some very like just short, succinct. This is how you do the moose knot. This is how you braid. I think last I checked, there's like 46 lessons on there. And the neat thing is you can get your hands underneath your work. See that? It keeps measure. And the other important thing when you're working with stringing materials is the tension. Because if the tension isn't right, it can ruin your piece. I mean, that was one of the biggest problems I had when I was working because you know, the cord's floppy and it's just not fun to work with. But when you have tension, and then it just makes such a huge difference. And both boards come, you know, they have the rulers in both inches and centimeters. Our workhorse, which is our large board, you know, it's got the wells, it's got like a groove. Both of them have the bead and ring size chart. I'm going to try to flip this over. Oops. Because these things are like solid. They're, you know, nice plywood, Baltic birch. And they've got the anti-slip feet. So, excuse me, when you're working, it doesn't slide. And I mean, sometimes, you know, for larger projects, you could actually put the two boards like side by side to make like a mega board, which one of these days I'll show you like a mega board project. I usually do that for a couple of things. I'd have to do like an entire lesson on it, but you do get a DVD and an ebook. This honestly, the DVD has just very like the basics. Nothing like elaborate like what I have on my website under Knotty Lessons. And also a hard copy of your ebook, but it's also downloadable at my website under Knotty Lessons. So, you know, these are for, you know, maybe something happens to the cloud or I don't know, but you know what I mean, because you never know these days. Anyway, so let's see what we have next. Oh, the moonstone. Oh my goodness, I have a story to tell you about this moonstone. When I was taking the picture, for some reason, you know, I was looking at it and I just felt like so calm. And then suddenly I just wanted to make something with it. And I decided I was just going to look up, you know, like what are the properties of, you know, this. And look what it says. It's known for its calming and soothing effects and inspires creativity. That is insane. I kid you not. I was like astounded when I read that because that's exactly what happened. I just got calm and then I thought, oh my God, I got to make something. And I ended up making these earrings. I mean, they're simple, but for some reason, I just, you know, just had this overwhelming like urge to make these earrings a la Laura Lee style because, you know, Laura Lee had used these bales, which I'll talk about in a second because they are on the show. And I thought these would be perfect. And I just love the peachy color, which it's one of my favorite colors. So so it was really interesting that, because sometimes, you want meaning behind something that you make. And, it's always it's fun. It's just fun to look up different gemstones to see, what kind of meaning they have. And, here's the strand. They got like a iridescent kind of color. I guess that's what moonstone, I don't know, but they're really cool. Anyway, this product, I did not have it in my package, but I did this little screenshot here. This is the round carnelian. It comes in the 6, 8, and 10 millimeter. And let's see. Oh, it's a Dakota stone. And guys, you know what? I don't know if it's an 8. I didn't get enough information. Uh-oh. I don't know if there's 16-inch strands or 8-inch strands, but you can click on the item description on the right to get the full description. So, and also check the current price, because I am not sure. But these are really pretty. They're smooth and large hole, so you could basically make the same thing that, like the earrings that I'm hopefully going to be able to make towards the end of the show. So that would be like really, that would look really pretty, really colorful, look a nice contrast. And then the next item are these large hole beads, and these I'm using them. You know what? Everyone needs to have large hole beads, and I really, for some reason, what is the pink one called? Help me. I'm trying to remember. I'm not going to look at my cheat sheets. Rose quartz. Okay, and every time I think of rose quartz, I think of my daughter, because it brings back like a memory for me, because I remember one year, I mean, this is so random. I was going to Tucson and I asked her if she wanted anything, and she just said rose quartz. And I'm, for a 9-year-old, that was like oddly specific. And I was just like, okay. And then I found out that rose quartz is a character in a cartoon that she likes. I can't remember the name of it. Some of you, I'm going to ask you if you know what show it's a character named Rose Quartz. So I'm putting it out there because I don't have the name of the show, but it just reminds me of that. So just memories. Yeah. And let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay. These bales, they come in, let's see, it's like 1, 2, 3 designs. One of them, it's really cool because the middle one, it says love on it. I didn't even notice that until I took the macro shot. And then we got the hearts, and then oh yeah, well, hang on. The big heart, and then the little tube one has like little hearts as well. And let me see if I could bring up the picture of the earrings. No, it's not a picture. I've got them in my hand. But see, they've got the hearts on there. So this ended up, excuse me, really cute. And you get a whole bunch of them. I mean, the package is like huge. Let me grab it. Look at that. I mean, you get a ton of them. That is so nice because, it's like an endless supply of these really cute bales. And see the heart one, it's got like such a big hole. So you never know when you want to make a multi-strand necklace and put like something like a really cute like heart. But these ended up really cute. I used the small board, and I tell you, the moonstone, I just got like possessed. And then I made these earrings, and they came out perfect. And while I was making them, I remembered how I did it. So I'm gonna hopefully share that with you at the end of the show. And let's see our last product. What do we have here? Oh, Leather Cord USA. Okay, so I made one of the bracelets with the leather cord, and this I really liked the way it felt. It was strong. I mean, Leather Cord USA is really nice cord. Let's see. I've got a thing here. Let's see. So you get 2 meters of each, and I'm gonna try to share with you a couple of ways to make today's project, which is the bracelet, but so that you don't waste any cord. And it's going to be interesting because that way we can figure out together how much cord you'll need for the bracelet. So in case you decide to do it in the future, you will know. So I do not have any like cheat sheets or anything on today's show because I decided I was just going to like figure it out with you guys. You just figure it out along the way. So let's see, we've got our board, we got our beautiful, like the rose quartz and moonstone, leather, and the bales. So if you see anything you like, grab it because you never know when it's gone. Because I've had, you know, a few of you guys say, oh, you did this project. The JTV no longer has those beads. So if you like it, grab it because, you know, sometimes, you know, the beads make the project. I mean, I can always like recommend like, you know, alternative beads, but, you know, for specific projects, I do like, you know, to have the specific type of bead. Anyway, I think that's everything on today's show. All right, so now that you know what is available, and I looked at the carnelian, and I don't know, it looks like it might be sold out, but you can get on a wait list. The name of the show was Steven Universe. Rita was correct. That is the show that my daughter watched with, you know, and the interesting thing about the characters, they all had like gemstone names. So I just thought that was really, really cool. Okay, so today's project. This one's interesting because I thought this would be like a really good, like a learning, like opportunity. Because a lot of times, you know, I don't know how to explain it. I think when you start learning like the, you know, different techniques, one thing that's important to do is like to like actually look at like stuff. I had a couple of customer requests for this bracelet because it was one that I wore in last week's show. And I thought, you know what, this would be a great opportunity to like show people or show just like you could see the similarities because this bracelet was actually a project from, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. And you're like, well, they look completely different. But if you think about it, they're actually very, very similar. So if you look at it, the differences are, instead of crisscrossing this knot like this, I put them like side by side. See that? You can see that. And instead of putting like 2 little dangles on each end, I put like a different like charm. So, you know, that's one of that. Let me tell you guys, that is like, I mean, it's extremely important when you're learning to become a designer to be able to look beyond what you're actually looking at. Because even when I made the earrings, like the a la Laura Lee style, you know, I said, okay, I've got like the basic design, but then immediately my brain started thinking, okay, I could put like 4 strands, 6 strands, and then like I could put like a bead, a wire wrap bead, like in between, you know, the ear wire and the bail, so that would look really cool. So when you look at something, don't just like look at like what's in front of you, like kind of look beyond and the possibilities. And that's what, honestly, that is what makes this so much fun, because you're making something and you're just like, oh, okay, I got that. But then I'm like, oh, what if I did this? And that is the best part, when you come up with like these crazy ideas because of just one, you know, really simple concept. Okay, so we are going to get started. I'm going to use the black. Okay, and the reason is because, you know, I want to like, we've got a full house. We've got Jenny, Rita, Christy, Michael. I mean, I saw Tess Barr. You know, she's just so famous. She doesn't need any introduction. Michelle, Christy, oh, thank you. And I saw Jenny, MJ. Thanks for joining the show, MJ. I hope you learned something new. We got Linda, Susanna Jones. Oh my God, just so many of you guys. Thank you so much. Robin Baden. Oh, that sounds like a movie star name. So thank you guys so much. I just really appreciate you being here. Okay, so we're gonna start with, you know what, should I do, I don't know, I think I'll just do the leather version, because then I'll just explain something to you with the cotton one, because one of these is cotton and the other ones are leather. The main difference is with the leather one, you need to be just a little more gentle because leather isn't as strong as the cotton. And when I do the cotton one, you know, I do the knots relatively close together, but then I like really pull it to like tighten them. But if you're doing it with the leather, you have to be a little more gentle because just, you know, just because of, you know, the way leather is, it just it's just not I don't want to say is strong, but that's not a fair term. What's a fair term? You just can't like pull on it like you can the cotton cord. Okay, so the what I did a couple of things. First of all, you know, of course, the first thing everyone wants to know is like, how much cord do I need for the bracelet? And yeah, it's fine and dandy if you're working off the spool. However, it does become important when you get to the end of the spool and you're like, okay, I've got a little bit left. Do I have enough? So we're going to figure that out today because I'm going to make this bracelet using the entire, you know, I'm going to use the whole piece. But first I'm going to come over here and I've got a yardstick here. I'm going to measure it exactly how many inches. Okay, there's 36, and let's see, 9. Okay, because I'm going to write that down. And this is a good tip. So if you know, ever like make something, it's really, really helpful information just to write down just like little notes. And, you know, my notes are horrible actually, because I'm just so bad at it. 12, 13, 21. I count twice, you know, because that's the way it is. 6, 7. Okay, 81 inches. So this black cord measured 81 inches. So let me see, what should I put on the end? I'm going to put a fluffer, but I think I'm going to go for the horse. So you could, you put your horse on using a regular old moose knot. And so for, you know, I don't want to waste a bunch of leather. I think the way to do it, because I know that, you know, sometimes my fingers just don't fit. Like when I'm trying to make a moose knot, when I only have the pin and a clip half an inch apart. But I'm going to try it only because, you know, leather is kind of expensive and, you know, I don't want to like waste any more than I need to. So I'm going to try getting a moose knot on there, doing the half an inch apart thing. I think it might work. Okay, let's try it. 1, 2. Oh, look at that. Oh, no problem. Uh-oh, maybe. Oh my goodness. See, that's one thing. Let's get it. Okay, you know what? It worked. Yay. All right, that worked. Okay, so I'm going to tighten this one. Tighten. And then I'm going to slide it down. So there you have like one end of the bracelet. Wasn't that easy? You know, you just put it on. And I'm going to put the glue on last because why? Because it's GS hypo cement, and you know, it's really hard to get that little thing in there. Oh, I really like struggle with it, but I still like that stuff very, very much. It is one of my favorite glues. I know that back in the day when I first started, I was really into the like super glue, but nowadays I like the GS hypo cement. Okay, so what I do is I'm going to put this here and I'm going to measure 2 inches. So I come over here and from the top of, excuse me, the top of the knot to the 2. So I'm going to, actually, let me do it this way. And the reason I do 2, should I do it the other way? Not, yeah, that way. Okay, just be consistent. Okay, top of the knot, boom, right there. And then I'm going to clip that in right here. The reason is because if you are selling your jewelry, 2 inches, it seems to be the sweet spot. So you have your basic like overall length, but I don't know. That way, if you need it to be a little bit longer for a bigger wrist, it still fits, and it'll still fit for like a smaller wrist, like a 6-inch wrist. See that? So that's the number that I found just like that works the best. And what I do is the part in the middle, you know, like anything that I make that's adjustable, it's like For the most part, unless I get a special request that someone says I've got an 8-inch wrist, okay, then that case I'd have to make it bigger. But 10 inches seems to be like the entire length of the bracelet will be 10 inches. And then I'll do the sliding adjustable knot. So I'm gonna like clip this on here, and let me zoom in so you can see how I do this. So I've got the long end here, and I'm gonna come in here and make a 1, 2, and you can see it's got, you can see the 3 coils right there. That's what you want to look for, unless you're making one with 4. So see, I pulled the peg out, and there's like a little tunnel in there. So I'm going to feed this end through just like that, and I'm going to pull all the way through. And this one's really important. Okay, you don't want to take it off yet, because you need to, because this knot is kind of like coily, so you want to like, I squeeze it to equalize the tension inside, and then I pull. Because if you notice, sometimes, you know, the different coils will, like, one of them will get tighter than the other, and then it'll look kind of weird. But if you like squeeze it and like redistribute the tension, that sounds really cool. Redistribute the tension, because that's exactly what you're doing. Then you like just like take it off, and then you have your first knot. And I'm gonna if you're gonna do one with just like knots and no beads, you just pick whatever like distance you want, like either like a 1/2 inch, and then you just repeat the steps, no beads. But I think on this one I will put like some beads. So let's see what we got here. I am gonna go with, you know what, I'm gonna do the rose quartz, because it is associated with creativity and like tranquility. So let's, I'm going to put one on here and then do the next one. Okay. I know, right? Yeah, but we'll have another customer show. And the reason is because we got one submission, which was from Laura Lee. I mean, she sends in some pretty stuff. But this time of year, everyone's dealing with graduations and the school year. And I know that you guys are really busy, and just haven't had time to like make stuff to send it in. And that is why. So hopefully next week we'll have a fantastic customer show. So we can see what you guys are like up to. Oh, there went my beads. Okay, so I'm going to, it's optional. I mean, the funny thing is sometimes I need to stabilize this and sometimes I don't. But see, I've got this bead right up to the that one bead, and literally you just like make your coil knot kind of like over the whole thing. And the reason I do this is because you want to get that knot as close to the bead as possible. And I know this is kind of like a repeat from, whoops, let me grab my cord here. From last week, I mean, a couple of weeks ago. But sometimes I think repetition is important. I mean, I take it for granted that I make this stuff like all day long, and I'm just like, I can do it real fast. But, I know a lot of you are, you're beginning your journey, and, having this repetition is like pretty important. So I'm doing the same thing that I did, where I'm redistributing the tension, and then I'm pulling from this side, because this knot can only be tightened from one direction. Because if you try to tighten it, like pulling it, like both of them this way, it will cause a gap between the bead and the coil knot. So I'm going to twist and pull, twist and pull. So there we have it. And now I think for the sake of time, I'm going to do like 1 inch in between. So I'm going to measure like 1 inch because I really would like to get to the earrings, hopefully. So I'm going to clip this in here, clip this here, and then repeat the, whoops. See, when you come in, see how I'm coming over? That is what makes the that coil knot. So you just come over like one of those ribbon symbols, and see you've got your 3, and then you take this out. Extra time. Oh my God, I hope so. Let me do this very quickly. So I want to get to those earrings, because I would be very bummed out. You know what, if I didn't get to them. Hang on, I got You know, it's funny. I always think that, oh, I've got so much time. And then before you know it, the hour is over. It is insane how quickly it goes by. But I think I've shared that, go, go, go. Did that not make it? Something went wrong there. Hang on. I am like, ooh, off my game today. Hang on. But that one is giving me grief. One. Okay, I'm just going to show this. Who's boss? Okay, I'm the boss. Let's do this. There we go. There we go. All right. You just pull and hope you don't get pulled along with it like I am because my bracelets are getting stuck. Okay, so then you tighten it and then remove and then put a bead on. And just keep going until, finishing the bracelet. Oh, do you mean like just physically, like you know how to do it, but you don't finish it, Michelle, or you don't finish it because you don't know how? Because that's funny that you mentioned that because my problem is I'll make like 95% of the bracelet but I'll know how to do it, but then I'll move on to the next project. I literally have a box of like unfinished business. I thought I should just do a live stream on my website, just like, oh my God, I did that one wrong, guys. Ooh, you're supposed to do it up to the bead. Let's see if we could save it. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, it comes apart? Uh-oh. Huh. Not good. Okay, so an inch. So we're going to go an inch here. Let's get that clipped. Oh no, that's not good. We need to like figure out why it's coming apart because that should not happen. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you get where I'm going with this. So whatever I'm at a loss for words, guys. Whatever design you do in the middle, whether it's like a stacked knots, spaced knots, just make sure you get it to 6 inches. That is my, for the adjustable bracelet, 6 inches. So as long as it's 6 inches in the middle, I should do like a diagram. So if it's 1 inch in the middle, each side has to be 4.5. Let me see if I have like an example, which I do not. Huh. Maybe one of these days I'll have, because it kind of took me like, I don't know, a couple of weeks to wrap my head around it. I actually had to make like a diagram because I'm like, I don't even know what I'm talking about. So I had to make pictures for myself because it was very confusing. Okay. Oh my, how am I doing on time? Okay. So, let's see, what is it at? Okay, let me just do these quick. Oh, I really want to get to the earrings. Maybe even if I do one earring, that would be good because, you know, an earring is just like you just do the same thing twice. And while I'm doing this, I want to tell you, you know how you buy like findings, you buy like, head pins and stuff like that. I have come to the conclusion, if you're going to buy head pins, any head pins, whether it's a ball, a flat, get the 4-inch because there's like an added bonus, which I'll share with you in a minute, because I've always struggled, like, should I get a 3-inch, a 2-inch, a 1-inch? It just kind of drove me nuts because, there's so many options out there and you're just like wondering like, which one should I get? Wait, let me, it's time to, I gotta make sure that I'm not going over. If I did one more, would that work? You know what? I think if I did one more, it would be too long. So I'm just gonna stop there. So the deal with the 4-inch head pin, because you know how sometimes you run out of leverage. This is really cool. I use the 4-inch, and then when I trim it, I always have this stuff left over. And you know what they're great for, guys? Ear wire. I save those ends and they make it's like almost like the perfect length for ear wire. So I always get like the 4 inchers, and I'll show you like a couple of tips and tricks in just a second. So so this part in the middle needs to be like around 6. You know, actually, I think I can put one more. I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it because I'm gonna feel like I didn't do it right if I didn't do one more. So let's do it. Because I think I'll have enough time for the earrings. Because, you know, how many of you struggle with like finding just like the right size, like head pin? It's just, there's so much out there. It's just, it's overwhelming and confusing. Uh-oh. See that? Oh, let me get this stuff out of the way. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, you know what? It is, oh, it's the best because I feel like I'm not wasting, because I felt like, especially when you're using sterling silver, God, it's just, you feel like, and you know, it's getting more expensive. Like every time I look on line, you know, sterling silver is like gotten more expensive. But if you use and another thing I was doing, I was like cutting it like like as little as possible so I wouldn't waste. But then you need that leverage, you know, like to get it like wrapped around. And it's like, oh, I just can't seem to find like the sweet like spot length. And, you know, I don't know, maybe a couple of months ago, I thought 4 inches is because you get a lot of like, did I do it again? Oh, no, do not do what I just did. Let me see if I could scoot this down. Ooh, not a good idea. Yeah. Okay, I got it. Okay, so now this should be like 6 inches, and it's going to be just a little bit. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to make the other side 2 inches. So I'm going to come over here. And okay, this is the interesting part because we're going to just leave this part on, because if we cut it, then we're going to waste it. So we don't want to do that. So, oh, the fluffer. Okay, guys. I'm gonna, let's see how I'm doing on time. The fluffer. What I did, and you guys might know that I love these little fluffer things. I'll make a real simple one. So that way, you know, we don't run out of precious time. I did a couple of these and I really liked the one that had the ring. See that? I did one where I put the fluffer directly into the moose knot. In this one, it stays like straighter. See that? Because this one got a little bit like crooked. So I suggest the ring. And let's see, what color, pick a color, first color that someone says I'm gonna do that. Which color should I use? And you could do this with like any color, like pink, blue. Oh my God, I think I'll name my next cat Fluffer. So I'm gonna wait and see what you guys pick. Lavender, okay, done deal. Let's do that. And I'm using a 0.8, but honestly, the 0.9, I mean, the 1 millimeter works just as well. I'm just using this because it's handy. And I need to use these anyway because I have them. Okay, so I am going to just get a preliminary measure. And you can make these, you know, bigger. You can make them big, small. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to wrap around just to get a, like a, yeah, that's kind of sort of good. Fluffer. That's a really cute name for a cat, actually. Huh. So I'm going to take this off and put the ring on. So I'm just going to, when you do this, you got to wrap. Every time you come back through, you need to go back through the ring. Very, very, very important. So back through and back through. And for this, you will need a GS hypo cement to like do the knot. So I'm going to clip this. You guys have seen me do this, right? I mean, I know that some of you are new. So I'm going to hold that there, and then I'm going to do make a coil knot. Let's see, about 5 or 6 inches of cord. And let's get this in focus right there. And I'm going to make a coil knot. When you make the coil knot, I know a lot of you know this. So you do your coil knot. I'm going to go like four times around. See that? And since the board is holding everything so nicely, you could put your finger underneath just to hold it. And that little tunnel in there, I am going to feed these guys through like this and like that. Let's get this one. And if you have like trouble getting it in, you could always use like your needle that came with your that comes with your kit. Get these needles really handy. So you could just put this in just like that. See that? And then just see I'm putting that end through the eye of the needle, and then it just really easily pulls through. Perfect. And I'm going to pretend like I'm putting GS Hypo Cement. So, because this will take me 15 minutes just to get the top back on. So you put a generous amount, and then you slide your knot over, and then you tighten. Tighten. And one thing, if your cords are too short, one thing that you can do is take anything close by and just grab it and then tighten it. And then what I like to do is, after it's dry, just come in with a razor and cut it, but not melt it, because that way because you know, some threads, when you melt them, they melt black. And that really sometimes detracts from, you know, what you're doing. So if you put the GS Hypo Cement and you come in with like a razor, and, you know, just be careful. Actually, I didn't even need to cut that one. It could have just been an extra strand here. Aha. So one less cut spot. So the cleaner you can make something, the better. But, you know, I know that sometimes there's just no way around it. You have to melt it, and it's going to change colors, and there's no rhyme or reason to like why it turns black. I think it has to do something with the chemical composition. So I'm gonna like trim the end, and it'll look like this. But what you do is what do I do? I take a knotting awl or something pointy. Let's see what I've got here. Or, you know, it could be a crochet hook. And I just like come in and like, see how I get the, whoa, right in there. I just put these little things here, and I just kind of like, it's actually kind of therapeutic and fun. Actually, I enjoy doing this. So you just kind of like fluff them all out. I'm not going to do it because it's going to take a few minutes. Let's just, or I don't know, sometimes you could like put the thing in there and then just fluff it out, and, you know, just fluff it. And then it'll look like this after you've done your fluffing. So, and then we're going to put it on the end of that, but we are going to not cut the cord because we're going to put this on. And let's get this to the side like that. And you know what? I'm going to put this because we have to get, how do I do that? Oh yeah, like this, because we need this to be inside, this to be inside the bend. So I am going to clip this right where it bent. Maybe I'll put this on the top side, right there. Really important, because we want it to be as close as possible. And I'm going to like clip this right over here. And we are going to do the same thing. We're going to make that knot just like that. To pull. This is a nice thing about having like 2-meter sections of the leather. It just makes working like easy. So let's make sure we got our 3, which we do. So I'm going to hold it until I get the end in my other hand, because things can go wrong. Okay, there we go. So this one comes here and through. All right. Pull. And we just want to like twist. And, oh, I think we got it. Okay, perfect. And then after I do all the little knots like this, that's where I come in, and right in there with this tip, I put like a generous, not like blobby, but not too little, just like maybe like one, like a drop of the GS Hypo Cement. And then you do have to have patience and let it dry. Because one thing I learned, the super glue, it dries fast, but it also dries crunchy, which can be a problem. I don't know if any of you know this, but whatever chemical is in there, I mean, yeah, it dries fast, but it also dries really hard, and like it's almost like a crispy cookie. And sometimes, like over time, it can crack, and then your knot comes apart. But with the GS Hypo Cement, when it dries, it's really crazy. It dries like plastic. It's like thick, sticky plastic, and it holds so well. I've never, honestly, anything I've ever used the GS Hypo Cement on has not come apart. So that's crazy but true. Yeah, I'm like, oh, it's got to be fast. It's got to be fast. But you know what? Sometimes patience is a virtue when it comes to keeping it like together. So now I've got my bracelet here, and what I did was I put these two together, and I'm going to clip this here. And if you're concerned with like your leather like getting marred or messed up, you can always get like a piece of like cardstock or something, and just put whoa, come on, whoa, Nelly, okay, and just put put it in the clips, which I've seen a lot of you do that, like, which is smart. So now we're going to make a coil knot. And this one, when I make the coil knot here, it's got to be a synthetic. So I'm going to use the 1mm faux leather, because you can't really do leather on leather, because like, how are you going to keep it from coming apart? So that's why if you're going to use the a sliding knot on leather, the faux leather is very soft, it's very slippery, and I'm going to go 5 times around. So, and you can make it like a contrasting color. You don't have to use black. I'm just using black because it's handy. And so I got this side going, and then this side. I'm going to get that needle because it is being, whoa, there we go. Yeah, sometimes, I don't know why. I mean, sometimes I think I know why, but it's like, it's too much to like think about to try to solve that problem. So you twist it to redistribute. See how beautiful? Look at that. When you do that quote unquote, the redistribution of the tension, how much nicer your knot looks. So it's really important to like do this and then tighten it. And when you're doing the leather, don't do it like overly tight. Just like, very snug. And now we can come in and like finish the ends here. So I'm going to cut this side. Interesting. I know for years I said, should I fluff it or should I not fluff it? And I learned the hard way that fluffing melts faster. Uh-oh, what is going on? Okay. So see, so if you fluff it out like this, that means less time with the lighter, which is always ideal. Because I had a fluffy jacket. I think I told the story a couple of weeks ago. It was so fluffer soft. I mean, it's soft as this stuff. And I put it in the dryer. I mean, just for such a short period of time on low heat. And boy, my fluffy jacket just got ruined. And I loved it so much. Okay, so that fluffed out. Now, perfect. It is complete. But now, before I put that on, I'm going to come back and find my leather. Where did it go? And remeasure. So that way, next time you make one, you know, this is just like an example of like, so we come back and we measure. So there's 36 plus, 36 plus 13. Okay, so let's do some math here. 36, 46, 47, 48, 49. So it's going to be 81 minus 49. And let's see. I always like use a calculator. I don't trust my brain for math. Man, for some reason I can solve like all sorts of things, but I always seem to make really like crazy math mistakes. I've always been that way. I mean, I can understand it, but when I actually have to do it, I think it's because minus 46. So 35 inches. This bracelet took, that makes no sense. That is insane. So when you make another one in the future, you're like, oh, do I have enough cord for it? Okay, this is really important. This is the most important part of this. 35, but add 5 inches. And you're like, why? Because you need that leverage. Because remember, we used the entire strand to make that last knot. But if you do not have that entire strand, you're going to need a little bit. So 5 inches is what you will need to add. So 40 inches if you're going to like replicate this bracelet. So let's put it on. Woohoo! Slide that thing up. Did I do it too tight? I don't think so. They're perfect. So now I've got another, and these are really cute because I know a lot of people. There was this rapper. I forgot his name, and he just loved like dangle stuff. And there was like his little following. These I don't know where they were from, but I made them a bunch of like these little bracelets. They just loved them. They were just like thought they were the coolest things. Okay. So now let me clear the way. My earrings, ooh, we got a few minutes. I think we can do this. Okay, what I do, this is really cool. If you can cut yourself a piece of like tubing, it is the best thing. So let me see if I have a caliper here. I think this is about a 3.8 millimeter, a 3.18 millimeter tube. And it just happens to fit inside one of the, holes. So what I do, so I can consistently get the same length of ear wire, because if you cut one that's 2 millimeter and then you put your next wire next to it and then cut it, it's gonna do this. You want them to all be the same. So what I do is I just put put this all the way down as far as it can go, and just put that wire in there, and then I take a pair of wire cutters and just cut it. And the reason I keep it on the board is, guess why? Because who would not lose that? I mean, because you could hold it in your hand and do the same thing where you just hold it in there, put your finger right there, and then, come in here and like cut it. But I would completely, totally, 100% lose this tube. So I leave it on my board. I've got another board that I use specifically for like earrings. So everything's set up so I don't have to like be looking for this 2-inch. It's 2 inches long, 3 millimeter, and then you just like stick it in there. If you have a tube that's thinner, you could I just cut to the chase, get a drill bit, and just make another hole in your board, because I've done that too. So what you do, I mean, I kid you not, if you're not making your own ear wire, it's really easy. You just get your wire and you just center it on your your mandrel type thing, just like this, and just you literally just bend it in half. Just go boom, boom, and then hold it until the ends meet, just like that. It just kind of make sure they kind of crisscross over a little bit. Okay, perfect. And then you take this other pair of something. Let's see, right here. And then you just, the part with the flat side, which is this one, you just curl it up. You take these little plier-y things right there, and then you just curl it up just like that. And how easy is that? I mean, that's so easy. And then I used to be fanatical about like bending like the end, like, oh, what's the right length? What's the blah, blah, blah. I was like, girl, no fuss. Just pick a spot on your pliers and just use it every time. And you know what? It works. And the only thing that you'll have to do, because see how it's kind of soft, you have to harden it. Let me see if I've got my stuff here, because I purposely didn't want to bring it because I thought, no, you know what? I left it over there because if I started banging on my table, it would look like there was an earthquake, and I didn't want to scare any of you. So you just get a block and just tap it to harden it, because and the most important part is like right in here, because that's where, if it's gonna like, see, because right now it's still really soft, but you just put it on your little block and take like a chasing hammer and give it a good couple of whacks, and then it'll and it gives it a nice texture. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Ah, come on. So it kind of like, see, I don't know if you can see like the texturing in the silver. It's, yeah, kind of a little bit, I think. It's where I smash it with the hammer. Okay, so the earrings. Okay, guys, you might want to take notes, because when I was figuring like out how to do this, I'm like, because of course the first thing you're like, how much cord do I need? Okay, I'm gonna make this with a cotton, but you can do it with leather, and two. It's so great, so easy. 1, 2. That's it, done. 2 lengths of the little board. Ta-ta. And this is really cool. Just remember 2 lengths of the little board, and let me grab like a thingy. I guess I'll use this one because I only made one of these. And where are my earrings? Okay, here they are. So there we have it. Boom. So 2 lengths of the little board. And like 99% of the time when I say, when you make your moose knot offset by 5, just for these earrings, you're going to offset by 3. So 2 lengths of the board, and then just pull one to where you have a 3-inch tail, and then center this guy here, and then make a moose knot. So let me put a pin and a clip 1 inch apart. And the reason is because see how one end is longer than the other? So that's why. When you offset by 3 inches, one ends up being a lot longer than the other. Because typically I aim for them being even, but not in this case. No pun intended. I have a feeling I did that wrong. If you ever feel you did something wrong, do it again, which I did, because you have to have the long side on top. Okay, let's do this. Okay. Ta-ta. Wrap. And these, I'm using the moonstone because they're so pretty, and make sure to get them, because you never know, just like the other beads are like gone, which is sad. And then you kind of scoot this up, and then you'll just have to kind of like keep your eye on the bail while you're, why is it not going? Am I pulling the wrong one? Oop. If you pull on one and nothing happens, and pull on the other. Okay, there it goes. So perfect. So what I did, I went for 1/2 inch. Okay, then you get the short one first, and then I went 1/2 inch right there, and then I clipped this, and then I did those coil knots just like I did before. 1, 2, 3, and you know what? I'm gonna like, I don't want to run out of time. Okay, so there's that one, and then tighten it up to the clip, just like that, and pull. Bead, let me get my moonstone. Where'd Where'd it go? Okay, there it is. I was gonna have you guys help me look like I do sometimes because I just lose stuff right before my eyes. And you can, this works with pearls, you know, so like start thinking about like all the different beads you could do this with. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do the knot over the entire bead. So there's 1, 2, and I'm going to hold this and then feed that through. Okay, so, oh, cool tip. Because, you know, I usually when I make this, I have a lot of extra so I could pull on this to tighten. Look at this little tip I have. Clip it like this, and then hold this clip tight so it gets like a good bite on the cord, and just pull and pull. See that? Squeeze here real tight and twist and pull. Because sometimes, you know, when I run out of, because you need the leverage. I mean, that's the important thing. You need that leverage. But if you run out, which I did, that's how you do that. So I'm going to cut this off, and then when I came in to do this side, it was super easy. I just made the second knot like right at the base of the first one. So I might, you know what? I think I might. I've got 4 minutes. Ooh, let's see if I can do this. 1, 2. Oops, that came out. If your clip comes out, you could like reinforce it. Sometimes I get like a real thin piece of thread and just like kind of like stick it in the hole just to give the clip like extra like sticking power. Okay, so there we got that one, and then another bead, and we do the same thing. And see, by doing that offset of 3 inches, it gave me extra like cord, because the first time I made it, I ran out because, you know, I kind of did them even. And I mean, that's the part of like when you're designing something, is figuring out, you know, just how much cord you'll need, and then take notes. And hopefully, yeah, I never remember. I always have to go back and look at my notes. That's for sure. See, no leverage, can't tighten that, but I'm going to do my little trick here and hold this, and then kind of redistribute the tension. See that? Boom, boom, boom. Squeeze, squeeze, and twist, twist. Pull. Boom, 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 boom. It's really therapeutic when you're doing this because I don't know what it is. Making jewelry is extremely therapeutic. How many of you just do this like because even if you make something like you don't like but you enjoyed making it? I do that all the time. So on the ear wire, all you got to do is after you harden it, I just come in here and open this up, put this through, and then ta-ta, boom, done. And like I said, I was like thinking of like a bunch of different things. And one of these days I'll do like, I think I don't know. I don't even know what I've done. Oh, let's see. Gina says beading heals me. Sandra is our therapist. Oh, thank you. That's funny because in college, I wanted to be a therapist. And I feel like I'm a therapist of some sort. Am I? Kind of, sort of. So, I mean, I feel like, you know, I'm not in a clinical sense of the word, but I kid you not. Making jewelry is the best therapy, and making it with the Knotty-Do-It-All is like, it's like therapy on steroids because okay, one thing, I've got this thing where if it takes more max an hour, I like projects that I can like see within like 20 minutes to 45 minutes. And most everything I teach, you could do it like so quickly and easily. I think my time is coming to an end. Let's see. I want to thank you guys for joining today's show. And I hope you learned something. And if you have anything in your cart, make sure and check out. And make sure and check out your Brilliant Cash, because if it's your birthday month, you might have some, and you can use it towards the purchase of any of the products on today's show. Anyway, I think I must bid you farewell because let's see how I'm doing on. I always have to check. See, I don't have my timer. Oh, yep, there it is. Ooh, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. I've got like 5 seconds. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will see you next Thursday. And make jewelry. And don't forget to email it to me at thenaughtydoitall@gmail.com. All right, bye.